Hello YouTube, it's Ian Maritime History here back again with another video. And I know I'm going a little bit out of order, because after all, Leonardo da Vinci was solely built for reparations after the sinking of the Andrea Doria. But I know, I want to end with the Andrea Doria. Go out with a bang for the Italian line. So I thought we'd start with this, so I thought we'd pretty much start wrapping up with this one. And then Cristoforo Colombo, Andrea Doria's sister, which looks sort of like her, but a little bit like this one too. All three of them look kind of similar, but they definitely have some differences. And Andrea Doria will be our final. The Italian line lost most of its passenger liners during World War II, including the prestigious SS Rex and SS Conte de Savoia, as I've talked about in parts 1 and 2. All of the ships that did survive the war dated from the 1920s, so they were very outdated by that point in time. In the year 1949, the company received subsidies from the Italian government, or amounts of money, to build two new liners of approximately 30,000 gross registered tons for the transatlantic service to New York. These were delivered in 1953 and 1954 as SS Andrea Doria and SS Cristoforo Colombo, respectively, re-establishing Italy in the transatlantic service business with the finest ships to serve on the New York Mediterranean run. The Italian government would give the Italian line, a lot more money later on after the Andrea Doria's sinking for the building of the SS Michelangelo and SS Raffaello, and actually the liners turned out to be larger than expected with the money that was given. But yeah, they look nothing like these, as you can see from my two new videos. And those are out now if you'd like to watch them. But the Andrea Doria did sink after just 3 years of service on July 25, 1956, after colliding with the Swedish-American line ship MS Stockholm, which was built in 1948. Trust me, that will be a video. Andrea Doria, it's happening. It's going to be really in-depth. And Stockholm, I might even do a video on the Stockholm, which, by the way, if you don't know, is still operating today. Just doesn't look anything like it. Excuse me. This left the Italian line in need of a second ship on the North Atlantic run. Immediately following the sinking of the Andrea Doria, the board of the Italian line was divided into three groups. One group participated in the court hearings about the disaster, the second concentrated on running the company's existing operations, and the third group drew plans for the new ship needed to replace the Andrea Doria. In order to save time in constructing the new vessel, the plans of the Andrea Doria were used but adapted to a somewhat larger design. Several innovations and new safety features were introduced on the new ship, eventually named Leonardo da Vinci. The new safety features included extended watertight bulkheads, lifeboat davits capable of launching lifeboats against a 25-degree list, motorized lifeboats, and separation of the engine rooms into two compartments, of each engine driving its own propeller and capable of powering the ship independently from the other. Other notable features were infrared heated swimming pools, but only in first class, of course. Retractable stabilizer wings, full air conditioning, and private bathrooms in all cabins in first cabin class, as well as in 80% of tourist class cabins. Moreover, provisions are made to convert the ship to run on nuclear power. So yes, this thing ran in a nuclear reactor. It wasn't steam-powered like other ships of the past, or oil-powered, more recently in that point in time. Excuse me. Construction of the new ship was awarded to the Ansolo shipyard at Genoa, where on December 7, 1958, she was launched and christened by Carlo Gronchi, the wife of Giovanni Gronchi, the President of the Italian Republic. The ship was delivered during the first half of 1960. Like the Andrea Doria and Cristoforo Colombo, the Leonardo da Vinci proved to be a tender ship, prone to instability in rough weather. But the Leonardo da Vinci's stability problem was greater because of her larger size, and as a result, 3,000 metric tons of iron were fitted along her keel and bottom hull to improve her stability. This made the ship excessively heavy for the power of her engines and led to extremely high fuel expenses. On June 30th, 1960, under the command of the Italian Line's senior captain, Commander Armando Pinelli, the Leonardo da Vinci set out on her maiden voyage from Genoa to New York, where she received the traditional festive welcome recorded liners arriving in the city for the first time. Soon after she entered service, the Italian line announced that by 1965, at latest, the ship would be refit to run on nuclear power. So, this did not come to pass, and anyway, at the time of the announcement, it was already known to executives of the company that by 1965, Leonardo da Vinci would be supplemented on the North Atlantic service by the new SS Michelangelo and SS Raffaello, planning for it to already start in 1958. So therefore, she did not actually get her nuclear power, which I did not know. I'm reading this for the first time. My script, besides, writing it and stuff. But you know what I mean. So she never actually got her nuclear power. I don't think it says what it ran on then. I think it was probably oil. Or either like a combination of oil and diesel. After the Michelangelo and Raffaello were delivered in May and July of 1965 respectively, Leonardo da Vinci was used almost exclusively for cruising, much like Raffaello would be when Michelangelo and itself were being taken out of service 10-15 years later on. Mostly around the Mediterranean, but also sometimes to the Caribbean, South America, and North America. The majority of her Taurus-class cabins were considered too bare for cruise service, and remained unused when the ship was used for cruising, further cutting the profitability of the ship. In 1966, she was repainted in a new livery of the Italian line. Now, this is of her old livery. This is Andrea Doria and Cristoforo Colombo's livery as well, the black, red, and white. However, the new livery would be an entirely white hull, which this is just my opinion, but I find it very bland, with a longitudinal thin green decorative band instead of her original black hull with a white decorative band, as you can see here. In February 1970, the ship departed on her most expensive cruise, a 41-day journey from the Mediterranean to Hawaii via the Panama Canal and back again. During the 1970s, the competition from jet aircraft became more and more pressing on the North Atlantic service. In 1975, the Italian line decided to withdraw both the Michelangelo and Raffaello from service. But despite this withdrawal of state subsidiaries, the Italian line did not withdraw from the North Atlantic service altogether, and Leonardo da Vinci returned to her original route for a short period until June 1976, when she too was withdrawn from service and laid up. In 1977, she was brought back into service, this time for cruising under the banner of Italia Crociera, also known as Italian Line Cruises, a newly formed subsidiary of the Italian line. The ship was used on one-night cruises from Miami to Nassau, Bahamas, but proved unnecessarily large and too expensive to operate on a service of that kind. On September 23, 1978, Leonardo da Vinci returned to La Spezia, Italy, to be laid up. Despite numerous rumors to the contrary, she never saw service again. After the ship had been laid up for 2 years, a fire started on board on July 4, 1980. She burned for 4 days and eventually capsized. Her burnt-out hull was later righted and towed to the scrapyard at La Spezia, where it was scrapped in 1982. Excuse me. So, that's the story of the Leonardo da Vinci. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. My next video will be on Cristoforo Colombo, like I said at the beginning of this one. And then, finally, Andrea Doria, which I'm going to go very in-depth on, and probably it's going to be rather long. And, of course, this is the pretty much replacement for the Andrea Doria. So if you see something that looks like the Andrea Doria, like online, but doesn't say Andrea Doria on it, it's either A, Cristoforo Colombo, or B, this one. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Yep. If you're off school, wonderful. Yeah. But have a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully watch some of my old videos. If you haven't watched them yet about the Italian line, they're pretty good. I believe so, at least. Some of my friends tell me they're pretty good, so I'm not really being biased there. I'm told they're good, but I think they're good. And have a good day. Bye.